Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the one back with more Wuthering Waves content, and I'm sure you guys are enjoying update 2.2. And we just got CANTARELLA, and the two other units that we are getting is Shorekeeper. We're getting her rerun, and we're also getting Camellia's rerun. So a question a lot of people have right now is who should you actually be summoning for, and who should you prioritize? Because let's be real, if you are a free-to-play player, you're not going to be summoning on every single one of these characters, and especially if you summon for Brent, you are going to be low in Astrite levels. So in this video, I'll be going over in order who to summon for and who to prioritize. Let's get it. Alright, so a unit that's gonna shock a lot of people actually, as I have her at the bottom of my priority, I guess you could say, list, is Camellia. So Camellia doesn't hold as much value as a CANTARELLA or a Shorekeeper, just mainly for the fact that she's a main DPS, and having a main DPS, you're gonna want a support unit, a healer, you know. And in these types of games, units that support hold way more value, as we already have Havoc DPSs in the game, like the Havoc MC. You could use the Havoc MC in terms of someone to replace Camellia with. You could also run a Dan Jin in terms of, you know, Havoc damage dealer to replace Camellia. So by no means do you need Camellia. Camellia is nice to have, but she's not a necessity, as there is other free-to-play options that do a adequate job. So for me, Camellia is replaceable. She doesn't hold as much value, so I think she's at the bottom of the priority list. And if you are a new player starting out, I always say go for the supports. Always go for the supports, especially the really powerful ones, as they're going to have more longevity. And I mean, in Wuthering Waves is an exception in the terms of there's no real power creep, everyone's still viable, but support units, especially ones that are universal, have insane value in terms of just a main DPS. Just think about it, you're not going to be using Camellia outside of her standard Havoc damage team. So outside of her standard team, you're not going to be using her in any other variations. So that's just my thought process on why I think Camellia is definitely at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to who to prioritize. CANTARELLA is going to be number 2 on the priority list for beginner players and free-to-play players for version 2.2, because in my opinion she doesn't have as much diversity as Shorekeeper. Well, I'm sure you can put one on one together. Shorekeeper is going to be number 1 here, but CANTARELLA doesn't have as much value as a Shorekeeper. I'll get into Shorekeeper specifics later, but the real issue is the fact that CANTARELLA is a Havoc support. She's a buffer, debuffer, healer, but she really only buffs Havoc damage. And she also does like she's also good for Jinshi. So she is a good support for Jinshi. But outside of Jinshi and, you know, a Camellia, Danjin, Havoc, like Havoc MC, like CANTARELLA, you're not gonna get a lot out of CANTARELLA, and she's a healer. So just think about that, right? Because do you need a healer? I mean, if you have Arena, she's free to play, friendly, as you can get her from a selector. She's in the standard banner, so you are bound to get Arena even if you miss your 50-50 or one of your banners, or one of your the banners you pull for. You are going to get Arena at some point. Then you have Baizi, who's free to play, friendly. Then I believe we also have another 4-star, I can't remember exactly, that heals. So we got like 3 free to play healers in the game, right? That's even considering if you don't own a Shorekeeper for some reason. So you don't need a healer, right? Then you now ask yourself, okay, so for a supporter, let's say you own a Camellia, right? Let's say you already own Camellia, but the first time she came around, you pulled for her, right? You don't even need CANTARELLA to actually buff Camellia optimally. Sam was actually a better support buffer for Camellia than Cantarella is. Then again, so we still don't have a best in slot damage dealer for Cantarella to support. So, you know, it's not really a lot of reasons to why you should be summoning for Cantarella. I guess her slowing down is pretty cool, and she is viable somewhat with Jinshi, I guess. You know, but even then, even if you're not using Jinshi, you still want to run a Yanwu completely free to play friendly. Yanwu is also a really good alternative, really. So even if you don't own Cantarella, you're still gonna get by. You know, she's not a unit that you need whatsoever. However, she does hold a lot of value, like I said, with her supportive capabilities. And you guys know, Kuro are gonna later down the line, you know, release a character that's her best in slot damage, best in slot main DPS that she can support optimally, and she will shine more. You know, we've seen it with like Jeje, where, you know, we got Carlotta later down the line. So she is a good investment, right? But not as good as Shorekeeper, who we're going to be talking about next, right? So in terms of Cantarella, I say you should skip. Really, you should really skip. She's not worth pulling for. But like I say in all these videos, if you enjoy her character, if you enjoy her design, then pull for her. I by no means hate Cantarella, guys. She's a cool unit. I even dropped a couple multis on her banner. So yeah. So in terms of Camellia, I think she should skip. As we already have free to play options. And with Cantarella, she's not a necessity. You can run all the teams you could potentially use Cantarella in. There is alternative free to play options that you could run. So you don't need her whatsoever. Now, the final unit we're going to be talking about here is Shorekeeper, right? We're going to talk about Shorekeeper. Now, Shorekeeper is the best support unit in the game. She has the best diversity. She's usable in every single team. There's not a single team in this entire game that Shorekeeper can't be on that team. Shorekeeper can be put on every single team in the game. She can heal. Her healing is insane. She can increase her crit rate, crit damage, increase her attack. Like I have her S2, so I'm getting an attack buff, 40% attack buff, which is insane. Like in terms of value and longevity, I think Shorekeeper is the best support and best healer in the entire game. That's why I went all the way and got her S2, because I know for a fact I don't need a healer anymore. Like I have Arena S3, I have Shorekeeper S2, I got Baizi maxed out. The other 4-star healers, I don't even have that 4-star healer built up because I'm chilling. So like if you have a Shorekeeper, you are set. You are set. And that's like one less slot in your teams that you know you have coverage for. Shorekeeper is just an insane unit. I recommend everyone pulling for her. And if you didn't, and even people who skipped her initial banner when she first came, I think it was 1.4. I think it was 1.4 or 1.3. I can't remember exactly when she came out. But people who skipped her, they instantly regretted it, and they've been saving. They've been saving for her rerun, right? So that just says it all. That says it all. Some people even skipped Brand. Brand, as overpowered as he is, people skipped Brand to save for Shorekeeper, because healers and supports in this game will take you really, really far. Really, really far. So Shorekeeper is irreplaceable unit, and she is a must summon. I don't say this about every unit in the game, because I do believe there is free-to-play alternatives for majority of the premium characters in this game. There is always a free-to-play alternative you can't always run, but Shorekeeper is a must summon. Even if you are free-to-play, I don't care about every other unit in the game. Summon for Shorekeeper. Shorekeeper will take you far. Shorekeeper will help you in Tower of Adversity. You know, Wuthering Waves, doesn't matter the game mode, she will improve your overall damage that your account can produce. She will drastically improve all the damage that you can do. So by far, you must summon for Shorekeeper's rerun. Beginner, whether a beginner, new player, veteran, whatever, returning player, Shorekeeper is definitely the best and the #1 priority for version 2.2. So yeah, those are just my thoughts on who to summon in version 2.2, because I saw a lot of talks about it. Since we have Camellia's rerun, we have a Shorekeeper rerun, and we're also getting Cantarella. So in my opinion, this is actually a good thing. If you are like me and you did already summon for Shorekeeper the first time she came around, and you may or may not have summoned for Camellia, that's dependent on you. But I genuinely think this is a patch to where you can save up your resources, reset. This is like a reset period where you can farm up your currency, farm up the world, farm up exploration. Like, I recommend you guys check out my last video where I talked about how to farm Astrite as much as you can, and prepare yourself for 2.3 because we have some hype characters coming. Could potentially be Zanny, could potentially be Fleur-de-Lis. I think that's how you say her name. So there is insane hype characters coming out. So this is a good period to save. As you guys know, as free-to-play players shouldn't be summoning. Free-to-play players should be very, prudent with how they spend their Astrites. So that's all I have to say. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe. Let me know down below, who are you gonna summon for? Cantarella, Camellia, or Shorekeeper? Let me know down below in the comments. Until next time, take care and peace, guys.